Everyone holds an opinion, and everyone has something to say. With social media, 24-hour news cycles, and non-stop notifications, we are constantly bombarded by an unceasing stream of noise. Amid this relentless chaos, we have lost something incredibly valuable: the power of silence. But silence isn't simply the absence of sound, it is a force, a strategic tool. When properly understood and applied, it has the potential to transform your relationships, success, and personal growth. Today, I will highlight 7 crucial situations where silence isn't just useful, it is absolutely essential. These are moments in which choosing to remain quiet can make all the difference. Let's start with the first situation: when you lack all the facts. In the digital age, the urge to immediately share opinions, judgments, and thoughts is overwhelming. But take a moment to reflect: how often have you spoken too soon, only to later realize that you didn't have the full picture? How many times have you jumped to conclusions, only to find out later that you were completely mistaken? A truly wise person understands the power of saying, "I don't know." Admitting that you may not have all the pieces of the puzzle takes confidence. In these instances, silence becomes your most valuable ally. It demonstrates restraint, thoughtfulness, and wisdom, qualities that are rare and therefore immensely valuable. Now, this doesn't mean you should never express your thoughts unless you're completely certain. Instead, it means taking a moment to ask yourself, do I have enough information to contribute meaningfully to this discussion? If the answer is no, then silence is the best course of action. Success and personal development are not about always having the right answer, they are about recognizing when you don't. In those moments, silence becomes a tool for trust building, growth, and learning. When you choose to remain silent, you create space for others to share their insights, for you to listen and absorb, and for a clearer understanding to emerge. True wisdom flourishes in that space. Now, let's move on to the second situation where silence is crucial: when you are angry. Anger is a powerful emotion. It has fueled revolutions, driven change, and motivated people to challenge injustices. However, anger is like fire. When controlled, it can be a useful force. When left unchecked, it can destroy everything in its path, relationships, reputations, and opportunities included. When we are angry, our emotions are heightened, adrenaline surges, and our ability to think clearly diminishes. In these moments, we are far more likely to say things we will later regret, words that cannot be taken back, words that may cause irreparable harm to relationships. This is precisely why silence in moments of anger becomes your most powerful safeguard. It prevents you from making impulsive mistakes and from saying things that could permanently damage connections you've spent years building. Now, you may be thinking, but sometimes we need to express our anger, we can't just bottle it up. And you're absolutely right. The key lies in knowing when to speak and when to pause. I am not suggesting you suppress your anger indefinitely. What I am saying is that there is a right time and place for expression, and that time is certainly not in the heat of the moment. When anger flares up, your instinct may be to lash out, to make sure everyone knows exactly how you feel. However, let me tell you this: the most successful individuals, those who cultivate strong relationships and achieve great things, have learned to master this impulse. Instead of reacting immediately, they pause. They take a deep breath, allowing themselves time to cool down. And in that silence, wisdom emerges. Solutions become clearer. Anger clouds judgment, making us view situations in extremes, whereas the truth often lies somewhere in between. By choosing silence in those heated moments, we gain perspective. We allow ourselves to see the bigger picture. More importantly, when you respond to anger with silence, you are not just protecting yourself, you are also de-escalating the situation. You are refusing to add fuel to the fire, creating an opportunity for understanding, resolution, and growth. I won't pretend this is easy. Choosing silence when anger burns within requires real strength and discipline. But it is a skill that will serve you in every aspect of life. Think about your personal relationships. How many arguments could have been avoided if you had just taken a moment of silence before responding? Consider your professional life. How many bridges could have been preserved if you had waited before sending that angry email? Choosing silence in the face of anger is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. It is a demonstration of control over your emotions rather than allowing them to control you. And that, my friends, is the essence of real power. When you master your emotions, you master your life. You make decisions based on reason rather than impulse. You respond with thoughtfulness instead of reacting recklessly. Now, let's move on to the third situation where silence is absolutely essential: when you feel tempted to make excuses. Excuses, they are like a pair of worn-out, comfortable shoes. Easy to slip into, familiar, and reassuring. But let me be clear, excuses are the building blocks of failure. Life will always present challenges. Obstacles are inevitable. And in difficult moments, it is tempting to reach for an excuse, to say, "It's not my fault," or "I had no choice," or "There was nothing I could do." But here's the truth, each time you make an excuse, you give away your power. You are essentially saying, "I am not in control of my own life. My circumstances dictate my fate." That is no way to live. And it is certainly no way to succeed. This is why, when you feel the urge to make an excuse, silence is your greatest ally. It gives you a moment to take responsibility, to own your situation and to empower yourself to change it. I know what you may be thinking, sometimes, circumstances truly are beyond our control. And you're right. Life throws unexpected challenges our way. But here's the thing, making excuses won't change that. Successful people don't waste time justifying why they can't succeed. They don't point fingers or play the blame game. Instead, they ask themselves, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What can I do differently next time? And in that silence, in that moment of reflection, true growth begins. That is where solutions start to take shape. That is where transformation happens. When angry, taking control of your life means reflecting on the moments when you made an excuse, only to later recognize the opportunity for growth you missed. Think about how often you have blamed circumstances, only to witness someone else succeed under the same conditions. Choosing silence instead of making excuses signifies responsibility, empowerment, and growth. Let me tell you, this choice isn't always simple. It's far easier to place blame elsewhere and avoid responsibility, but comfort is the enemy of growth, it obstructs success. By staying silent instead of offering excuses, you are proclaiming, "I am in control of my life, responsible for my success, and capable of overcoming any obstacle." That is a powerful mindset, one that leads to achievement, creates opportunities, and transforms dreams into reality. Now, let's move on to the fourth situation where silence is essential, when you're tempted to gossip. Gossip is everywhere, infiltrating our workplaces, social circles, and even our families. It's like a sweet poison, tempting and seemingly enjoyable in the moment, yet ultimately destructive. Gossip may appear harmless, even gratifying when you're in the know, but it ruins trust, damages relationships, and tarnishes reputations, not only of the person being spoken about but also of the one spreading it. That's why, when you feel tempted to gossip, silence is your best defense. It preserves your relationships and safeguards your integrity. I understand what you might be thinking, sometimes discussing others is necessary to process experiences. You're right. There are times when constructive conversations about people serve a purpose, but there is a significant difference between that and gossip. Gossip is not about resolving issues or fostering improvement, it is about elevating ourselves at another's expense, boosting our ego by diminishing others. That's a risky game to play. Choosing silence over gossip makes a powerful statement, "I respect others, value integrity, and refuse to engage in petty talk." In a world where gossip is commonplace, integrity stands out and earns respect. Consider whom you trust more, the person who always has the latest rumor or the one who refuses to participate in such conversations. Who would you prefer as a colleague? As a friend? By avoiding gossip, you are not only protecting others but also yourself. You are preserving your integrity and building a reputation as someone who is trustworthy, respectful, and dignified. In the long run, that reputation is far more valuable than the fleeting satisfaction gossip provides. I won't claim that this is easy. In a world fueled by gossip, choosing silence can sometimes feel isolating, but it is worth it. When you refuse to partake in gossip, you create space for something better, authentic connections, meaningful conversations, and real relationships built on trust and mutual respect. True success does not stem from knowing the latest rumors but from being recognized as a person of integrity. It isn't about tearing others down but about lifting them up. It's not about spreading negativity but about fostering positivity. Now, let's move on to the fifth situation where silence is vital, when you are tempted to interrupt. Interrupting has become an all too common habit in today's fast-paced world. We are always in a hurry, eager to make our point, quick to interject with our own thoughts. But interrupting is more than just impolite, it obstructs understanding, hinders connection, and creates barriers to success. When we interrupt, we don't just cut off someone's words, we cut off their thoughts, ideas, and perspective. We send a dangerous message: what I have to say is more important than what you are saying. That is why, when you feel the urge to interrupt, silence is your greatest teacher. It allows you to listen, understand, and gain new perspectives. I know what you might be thinking, sometimes interjecting is necessary, like when conversations stray off course. And you're right. There are moments when guidance is required. However, more often than not, the urge to interrupt stems from impatience rather than necessity. Truly successful people understand the value of listening. They recognize that everyone they meet knows something they don't, and they see every conversation as a chance to learn, grow, and expand their understanding. By choosing silence over interruption, you are making a powerful decision. You are opting to be a learner rather than just a speaker. You are demonstrating that you value others' perspectives as much as your own. You are choosing to be present, engaged, and genuinely connected in conversations. In a world where everyone talks but few truly listen, such presence is rare, and rare things are valuable. Ask yourself, who do you enjoy talking to more? Someone who constantly interrupts or someone who genuinely listens and gives you the space to fully express yourself? Practicing silence instead of interrupting isn't just about being polite, it's about forging deeper connections, fostering understanding, and creating an environment where ideas can flourish and creativity can thrive. And in business, relationships, and every area of life, such an environment is where success begins. I won't pretend this is easy. In a world that moves at lightning speed, choosing to fully listen before responding may feel like swimming against the tide. It takes patience, self-discipline, and a sincere interest in what others have to say. But let me tell you, it's worth it. When you give someone the gift of your full attention, when you create space for them to express themselves completely, you're not just showing respect, you're opening doors to new ideas, fresh perspectives, and unforeseen opportunities. And who knows, perhaps the thought you were so eager to share will be transformed, refined, or even completely changed by what you hear. Choosing to listen first is not passive, it's an active, engaged, and intentional choice to be fully present. That kind of presence and engagement is what distinguishes great communicators and extraordinary success stories. Now, let's move on to the sixth situation where silence is invaluable: when receiving feedback. Feedback is a gift, isn't it? A gift that can sometimes feel like a punch to the gut. Because, let's be honest, none of us enjoy hearing about our shortcomings, mistakes, or areas in need of improvement. But the truth is, feedback, no matter how difficult it is to hear, is one of the most valuable tools for growth and success. It acts as a mirror, not just reflecting who we are, but revealing who we have the potential to become. That's why, when receiving feedback, silence becomes your greatest ally. It grants you the opportunity to learn, grow, and see yourself through another person's eyes. I understand the instinct to defend yourself. What if the feedback is incorrect? And you're right, sometimes it is. There are instances when feedback may be misguided or based on incomplete information. However, here's the key: your first response, your immediate reaction, should be silence. When we receive feedback, our natural tendency is to defend, explain, and justify, but in doing so, we often overlook the valuable insights hidden within that feedback. Choosing silence in the face of criticism is a powerful decision, one that prioritizes growth over ego, improvement over defensiveness, and lifelong learning over the assumption that we already know it all. Let me tell you, in a world where so many resist feedback, that kind of openness to growth is rare. It's a hallmark of truly successful individuals. Think about it: who do you respect more? Someone who always has an excuse or a defense, or someone who listens intently, considers feedback thoughtfully, and uses it as a catalyst for improvement? Remaining silent when receiving feedback isn't just about being polite, it creates space for reflection. It allows you to truly absorb what's being said, consider it objectively, and extract the lessons hidden within. In that silence, real growth takes root. That's where transformation happens and where you unlock your full potential. Now, I'm not suggesting that you accept all feedback without question, far from it. But before you respond, before you defend, before you explain, pause. Be silent. Listen. Reflect. In that moment of silence, ask yourself, what can I learn from this feedback? Even if I don't agree, is there some truth to it? How can I use this to improve? Approaching feedback with silence and reflection not only betters you but also strengthens your relationships. It shows others that you value their input, that you're open to growth, and that you are committed to continuous improvement. That attitude is what separates the ordinary from the exceptional. It's what distinguishes those who plateau from those who keep rising, keep growing, and keep reaching new heights of success. Now, let's move on to the seventh and final situation where silence is absolutely crucial, when you are celebrating your achievements. Yes, you heard that right. Even in moments of triumph, silence has its place. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't celebrate your successes, of course, you should. Success deserves recognition and should be enjoyed. But there's a difference between quiet confidence and boastful pride. When we accomplish something significant, the urge to announce it to the world, to ensure everyone knows about our success, can be strong. But let me tell you this, true success, lasting success, speaks for itself. It doesn't need to be broadcasted. Choosing silence in the wake of an achievement demonstrates something rare and valuable, humility. It shows that you don't rely on external validation, that your satisfaction comes from the achievement itself rather than the recognition of others. And in an era of social media boasts and constant self-promotion, quiet confidence is striking, it commands respect and inspires others. So, there you have it, the 7 situations where silence isn't just golden, but absolutely essential. When you lack all the facts, when you're angry, when you're tempted to make excuses, when you feel the urge to gossip, when you want to interrupt, when you're receiving feedback, and when you're celebrating success. Master the art of silence in these moments and witness how your life transforms. Watch your relationships deepen, your influence grow, and your success reach new heights. Because in a world that never stops talking, the ability to be truly silent is a superpower. And that power is within reach for every single one of you. Silence isn't weakness, it isn't avoidance, it's strength. A strength that can elevate your relationships, build your character, and unlock levels of success you never imagined. Because in a world filled with noise, those who master silence stand out. They earn respect, make wiser decisions, continue growing, succeed, lead, and ultimately, live more fulfilling lives. So starting today, pay attention. Pause before you react. Hold back when it matters most. And see how your life begins to change. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And always remember, true strength isn't always in the words you speak, sometimes, it's in the silence you choose.